Building a more well-developed chest has a major impact in the appearance of your physique. You look more aesthetic, more athletic, just more attractive in general, and you build what I call the hyper physique. In this video, we're gonna be going over the perfect chest workout for strength and aesthetics, right? And I'm gonna give you my top 5 movements and exercises that I want you to do to get stronger, build a stronger chest, and look more aesthetic and more athletic. My name's Oakley with the Hyper Physique, and I create content on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube to help you build a more athletic, aesthetic physique, and I call that the Hyper Physique, right? And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. It really helps me tremendously, and if you have anything you want me to make a video on, comment below and I will make it as soon as possible. All right, let's hop into the video. All right, before we talk about what the top 5 exercises and movements are to build a more well-developed, more aesthetic and strong chest, I want you to remember this is just the top 5 exercises, and you can implement them you can split them up into 2 different workouts. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I like to hit each muscle group twice per week. So what you could do is take 2 or 3 of these movements and put them on, let's say you do a push-pull leg split twice a week, you put them on your 2 push days and split them up, right? Or you can just do it as a chest workout overall. That's not the best, and that's not gonna maximize your gains in the gym, but it does get you results. So I just wanted to say that before I actually dig into the actual video. All right, so number 1, the first exercise is going to be the flat barbell bench press. And go figure, this is the number 1, probably most common exercise there is in the gym. You start working out, or you talk to a buddy about working out, one of your friends, and the first question you get is, how much can you bench, bro? And the thing is, man, it actually is pretty important. If you don't have a strong bench, you probably don't have like a big chest at all, honestly. And if you look at it, just try to think of someone that you know that has a pretty well-developed chest. They are pretty strong at the bench press. And studies have shown that our 1 rep max for the bench press, the flat barbell bench press, is directly correlated with chest size and chest growth. In simple terms, the more you can bench, the bigger your chest is gonna be overall. Just an example, just because everyone probably knows who he is, Arnold, he could bench 500 plus pounds, right? And you could see he had one of the most developed chests in history, right? And so that just kind of goes to show you, the bigger your bench press, the bigger your chest is gonna be overall. But that's not it, and that's not the only movement we wanna do. We also wanna make sure we're focusing on our upper chest. So that brings me to number 2, the incline press. And the reason we want to do the incline press is because that's going to build the clavicular head, right? So we have 2 heads of our chest. We have the clavicular head, or which is called like the upper chest, and then we have the sternal head, which is like the lower mid chest, which is like the bulk of our chest, right? Which is really hit from the flat barbell bench press. But we want to also target the upper chest, which a lot of people lag in, and that's where I kind of like help my clients, and we do a lot of incline pressing. I really like the barbell and the dumbbell incline press. I'll also throw in some machine incline press as well. But typically what I do is I have my first day, which is like a push day. I do a push-pull leg split at the moment. And on my first push day, I will do flat barbell bench press, and then I will do incline dumbbell bench press. And then on my second day, I usually start with incline barbell bench press, and then I'll end, or later on I'll do like a flat dumbbell bench press, and you kind of just do the opposite of whichever flat or incline you are doing. And then obviously sometimes I'll throw in a machine incline press either at the end just to kind of burn out with some higher reps, or I'll do like a landmine incline press. And there's just a bunch of other different variations you can do, but dumbbell and barbell incline press are probably going to be your top 2 movements that are going to build that upper clavicular head of your chest and give you that thick and more aesthetic look, right? And the cool thing is, it also builds the shoulders, especially the incline dumbbell bench press. It hits your front delts and a lot of your side delts as well. It actually hits your side delts a little more than the barbell bench press does. So I'm not saying one's better than the other. I actually think you should do both, just because you can move up in weight a lot quicker with the barbell bench press, and then the dumbbell bench press is just a great movement overall to build your upper chest, your front delts, and your side delts. Typically I like to stick in like the moderate to high rep range, so anywhere between 6 to 8, and then maybe up to like 10 to 12 or 15 at most. unless you're like doing like a burnout set, obviously like to 20 reps, but that's a totally different topic. So usually anywhere from 6 to 12 reps is like the best rep range in my opinion for the incline press. All right, so number 3 is cable flies. And I have certain variations that I like to do. I don't really, so after my flat barbell bench press, honestly, every single movement after that, I usually focus on upper chest. So whether it's an incline press or a fly, I'm always trying to build my upper chest just because that's always a lagging muscle group for me and for most people that are natural. The first fly I want to talk about is the Bayesian fly. And basically what you do is you sit on like a shoulder press seat, and then you take the cables, and instead of using handles, you're actually going to just use the cables themselves without any clips or anything, and you're just going to hold them so that your wrists or your palms are face down, right? And then you're going to keep your elbows and your hands at shoulder level, and by doing this, you are going to really feel it in your clavicular head of the pecs, the upper chest, right? So like even if you do it right now, for example, just take your arm out to the side and just bring it in, and you can feel like the chest fibers all over, the overall pec is activated. But now if you take it, keep your elbow up and twist your palm in or flat so it's facing down, and then you bring it in, you can really feel like mostly the upper fibers of the chest are being activated, right? And that's why we want to focus on this fly. And typically when I do a Bayesian fly, I'm really focused on a mind to muscle connection, keeping the tempo slow and controlled and constant. There's no pausing, there's no stopping, taking breaks or anything. It's just a constant motion. I'm never really letting go of that tension on the muscle, right? And typically I usually do anywhere from 12 to 15 up to 20 reps for this movement, and it's going to give you a super good pump, and that's what you should be going after. You should really be trying to put a lot of blood into the upper chest and make a lot of tension and contraction happen. The second fly that is my favorite is the low cable fly. So you put the cables down all the way to the ground, and then you're gonna basically grab the cables, and you're actually use handles on this one, and you just bring them up to your chin, and you can actually bring them like to different spots. So you can come into the middle by your belly button, right under your chest. You can go to the under your chin. Just kind of find that sweet spot that feels good for you. And a lot of people think this movement is actually for lower chest, and it is not. In fact, when you want to build your upper chest with flies, low to high is going to build the upper chest, high to low is going to focus more on the middle to lower chest. So if upper chest is something that you're struggling with, you may be just doing the wrong flies, you may be doing the wrong movements to actually build your chest. So low to high to focus on your upper chest, and that's exactly what the low cable fly is for. And what I like to do is kind of scoop instead of just flying it. I kind of scoop sometimes, and then I'll let it out, and then I'll just do a regular rep, right? And then I'll scoop, just kind of mess with it just to really feel that mind to muscle connection in the upper pecs, right? That's the main goal of these flies. They're not really to move a ton of weight. We're gonna lighten it up a little bit, and obviously you wanna increase weight over time, but the main goal is to get that mind to muscle connection, really use your upper chest, and that's what's gonna push you forward and really build that thicker upper chest to make you look more aesthetic. The other reason I really like cables is because you do get that constant tension. So you could obviously do these movements with dumbbells or machines. Machines are pretty similar to cables, but I find that the cables just create a constant tension. So when you get to the top of the movement, there's still tension. When you're using a dumbbell, it's kind of when you get up here, it's just a little bit easier. So for that reason, that's why I like to use cables for most of my fly movement. Number 4 is the landmine press. All right, this is kind of a weird movement, and it's a great upper chest finisher. And when I say finisher, it's something you want to do towards the end of your workout, probably like one of the last 1 or 2 exercises you do at the end of your like push day, let's say for example, before you hit like your tricep or something, and you kind of just do like a burnout set with it. You can either just do a high reps, or what I like to do is I push the weight up and then I focus on like a 3 to 4 second negative and really just focus on that contraction in my upper chest, right? And the thing for this one, you really want to try and lock out almost all the way with your elbows. It's hard to do sometimes because you're a little fatigued after doing all the work before, but just kind of think about trying to lock out as far as you can, and you'll really feel that contraction in your upper chest. And if you get that mind to muscle connection there, this movement is great to build that upper chest and make you look more aesthetic. Number 5, we're kind of going back to the basics here, is banded push-ups. This is a very underestimated exercise, and I like to do this with like a superset with a fly usually. So for example, if I do like Bayesian flies, I like to superset this to really just activate every single muscle fiber I can in my chest. And what I do is I'll do a push-up with a band around me and I hold it. And if I'm like really struggling, my next set I'll go on a Smith machine and kind of like put the bar up on one rack, just make it a little bit easier, because as you elevate your hands, the easier the push-ups are. Okay, so you wrap the band around you and you're gonna explode up, and then you want to just really focus on that mind to muscle connection as you come down for 3 to 4 seconds on the negative, right? It's more of a slower eccentric negative movement, right? And we're using the band to just add more tension on the eccentric portion. And I'll even do some cheat reps where I kind of use my feet to help me get up, and then I'll just fight it on the way down. And I just really only focus on the way down, right? I'm just trying to like let my body down as slow as I possibly can to really maximize and grow my chest, right? A lot of times I'll actually take this movement to failure just because I find it's a really good movement to just really burn out and activate all those like kind of last fibers that need to get activated in the chest. So it's a great movement to pair up with a fly and take to failure, right? And if you want it to be easier, all you have to do is go on a Smith machine and just go put your hands a little higher and higher until it finds like the sweet spot that's good for you. And typically you want to be able to get like 6 to 10 reps before you fail. So either get a less difficult band to use so it has less tension, or just raise your hands to make it easier. So that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. So just to kind of recap on what we went over is, number 1 was the flat barbell bench press. This should be the main driver for your chest, and you want to focus on strength for this one. Probably nothing really over 8 reps, to be honest. You want to work in like the 3 to 8 rep range, doing anywhere from 3 to 6 sets, right? And then we're going to move into an incline press. You can use a barbell, you can use a dumbbell, you can use a machine, whatever you kind of prefer. I like to use at least both barbell and dumbbell on different days. And then we move into our cable flies, right? Bayesian flies, low to high cable flies, and just really maximizing that constant tension, mind to muscle connection for there in the moderate to high rep ranges. And then we're gonna move into our landmine press, which is gonna be like a finisher, where we can focus on the negative for 3 to 4 seconds, or we can just burn out and do like 20 reps to just really get the blood flowing to that upper chest. And then finally, banded push-ups is going to be the last movement that we covered, and that's just basically to activate as many muscle fibers as we can in the chest and maximize growth to really build a well-developed chest. Okay guys, so that's my top 5 movements for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.